While scrolling through Steam the other day, I saw Terraria, a game I used to play over 10 years ago with all of my friends. Except now, none of my friends play, and I am all alone. To make up for the fact that I had no friends to play with, I set some rules. I had only 2 days from when I started to finish every achievement in the game. I could not use journey mode, and I had to do all of this completely alone. So I downloaded the game, created my world, and got to work. Little did I know, none of this would be as easy as I first anticipated it to be. Why? This is how I got every achievement in Terraria in only 2 days. Upon spawning in, I immediately got to work, cutting down a tree, crafting a workbench, and mining some ore. This gives me my first 3 achievements of the run: Timber, Benched, and Ooh Shiny. My next 4 achievements were just as quick as the last 3. Heartbreaker, got by smashing a heart crystal underground. Heavy Metal, from attaining an anvil. I Am Loot, opening my first golden chest, and You Can Do It, for surviving my first night. These achievements may seem simple and quick now, but with some having been completed by less than 3% of players and one being completed by less than 2%, they will become much more tedious and time consuming as we proceed. I continued adventuring in the caves where I encountered a fairy, rewarding us with,
Hey, listen!
I decided to do my good deed of the day and build a homeless man a house. While I did not get any money, I did get the achievement No Hobo. Building housing for the homeless was very important, because in order to get one of the later achievements, Real Estate Agent, all 25 NPCs had to move into one of my homes. It would also allow us to buy pylons, giving us the ability to teleport around to wherever one is placed. With the time constraints in place, anything to save time helps. Wearing a full set of armor grants us matching attire. Going to the top of the world, where I thought I was going to take fall damage and die, for Into Orbit. Then really dying to a trap underground for Watch Your Step. The Blood Moon has an 11% chance of spawning every night. After our first one, we are rewarded with Bloodbath. Digging deep enough, we will reach the underworld, granting us the achievement It's Getting Hot in Here. While down there, I found and used my first yo-yo, getting the Throwing Lines achievement. Combining 5 fallen stars gives me a mana star. Using a mana star grants me star power. We will need a total of 9 mana stars for a later achievement. Accessing the crafting menu with an empty bottle near water allows you to create bottled water. Drinking that water while drowning is how you get unusual survival strategies, an achievement so specific that not even 3% of players have it. Breaking your first Shadow Orb or Crimson Heart grants Smashing Poppet. Breaking an additional 2 summons the boss corresponding with the biome you have, mine being the Crimson and the Brain of Cthulhu. Killing the brain grants you the achievement Mastermind. I craft a hammer and kill an enemy with a minecart, giving me stop hammer time and vehicular manslaughter. Standing by a demon altar and pulling up your crafting menu gives you the ability to craft boss summoning items. Crafting one gives the achievement Like a Boss. Using that item summons the corresponding boss, mine being the Eye of Cthulhu. After killing, I get the Eye on You achievement. The Slayer of Worlds achievement is completed by killing 15 required bosses. That is now 2 of our 15 bosses we need. After breaking a Shadow Orb or Crimson Heart, a Goblin army then has a 1 in 3 chance to invade every morning. After defeating the first Goblin army, that chance will drop down to 1 in 30. For defeating the goblins for the first time, I am awarded Goblin Punter. I had now been playing for 3 hours and I was sitting at 24 achievements completed. I was on a great pace to reach my goal of every achievement in 48 hours. I wanted to get a good ways ahead to make sure I still have time, factoring in sleep and anything else required to spend time on. By talking to the old man at night, it will show the cursed dialogue option. Choosing this summons Skeletron. Killing Skeletron rewards us with Boned and access to the dungeon. Trying to access the dungeon before killing Skeletron is a bad idea.
Holy crap.
The dungeon is vital because it contains many items, NPCs, and activities needed for achievements. Golden keys can be found by killing mobs and breaking pots within the dungeon. Using that key to unlock your first golden chest grants us with Dungeon Heist. Within our chest, we found the Cobalt Shield, only found in the dungeon and necessary for crafting the Ankh Shield. Another one of our harder achievements completed by only 8% of players. On our way out of the dungeon, we untie the mechanic, allowing her to move in and adding another NPC needed for Real Estate Agent. Heading to the jungle and discovering a large beehive grants us Where's My Honey. In the beehive, we can summon Queen Bee, which I accidentally do and die. While exploring the jungle, I find the Goblin Tinkerer, probably the most valuable NPC. He sells the Tinkerer's Workshop, which allows us to combine accessories, the Rocket Boots, used for crafting the Terraspark Boots, another late game achievement, an NPC needed for Real Estate Agent, and after he moves in, we will be able to pay him to reforge our gear.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I resummon Queen Bee, this time on purpose, killing her for sting operation, and another boss checked off for Slayer of Worlds. Heading back in the dungeon, we find the Shadow Key, which will now allow us to open shadow chests in the underworld for strong and necessary items. I finally discover how to equip a grappling hook for Hold On Tight. Using Hellstone ingots, I craft the Volcano and the Molten Pickaxe. The Molten Pickaxe granting us Miner for fire, and the Volcano being used in the Zenith crafting recipe. The Zenith requires 18 specific swords to craft and is considered the best weapon in the game. Crafting will grant us the achievement Infinity plus 1 sword. The Voodoo Doll is dropped by Voodoo Demons, who have a 1 in 7 chance to spawn in the place of a demon. Throwing that doll or the guide into lava will summon the Wall of Flesh and kill the guide. Defeating the Wall of Flesh grants us Still Hungry and switches our game into hard mode, for it's hard. Hard mode is our second phase of the game, spawning new and stronger enemies, new drops, new ores, new NPCs, new challenges, and a new biome, the Hollow. The Hollow will spread the same as the Corruption and Crimson. The spreading process of these are now sped up due to hard mode. Using the Pwn Hammer, a guaranteed drop by Wall of Flesh, we can now break Demon and Crimson altars. Breaking these grant us Begone Evil. This is also how we get our new ores. The first altar will spawn Cobalt or Palladium, the second Mithril or Arcalium, the third Adamantite or Titanium, my world's 3 being Cobalt, Mithril, and Adamantite. These ores will spawn randomly throughout the world, replacing blocks created during world generation. Breaking more altars after the first 3 will spawn more of the ores you have been assigned. You will not be able to get the counterpart of your world's ores to spawn. Mining your first hard mode ore will grant you extra shiny. The Tavern Keep can be found unconscious anywhere in the world after defeating Eater of Worlds or Brain of Cthulhu. He is one of the required NPCs for Real Estate Agent and needed later on for the Hero of Etheria achievement. Clumsy Slime, one of the 8 slimes needed to move in for a late game achievement, the Great Slime Mitosis, found near floating islands and must be knocked down from its balloon. When interacting with any slime, they can be pet. Petting your first slime grants Feeling Petty. Mining your 10,000th tile grants Bulldozer. I end up using a teleportation potion to try and find more ores. Teleporting to the worst spot I could. Killing a nymph grants me Deceiver of Fools. While searching underground, I find the Wizard, another NPC needed for Real Estate Agent.
Another one.
Taking 20 gel and the gold or platinum crown to an altar will allow you to craft the slime crown. Crafting the slime crown will then allow you to summon King Slime, granting Slippery Shinobi when killed, and allowing the nerdy slime to move in. Traveling on foot for a total of 26.2 miles grants us Marathon Medalist. While exploring, we find a mushroom outfit, placing it in all 3 social slots for fashion statement. Wings are one of the best tools for exploring and fighting. Equipping your first pair grants Head in the Clouds. Surviving a fall with little to no health for Lucky Break. The Pirate Invasion is our first hard mode event. After killing roughly 120 pirates, they will be defeated for Walk the Plank. The mech bosses are the first 3 hard mode bosses, each dropping hollowed bars and a unique soul drop. They can be used for crafting many useful things, including one of the swords needed for the Zenith. We first fight the twins, summoned using the mechanical eye, when killed dropping Souls of Sight. Next the Destroyer, summoned with the mechanical worm and dropping Souls of Might. Finally Skeletron Prime, summoned using the mechanical skull and dropping Souls of Fright when killed. By defeating all 3 of these bosses, we get the achievement Bucket of Bolts. We also get Plantair's Bulb to begin randomly growing within the jungle, used to summon one of our later bosses. Using one of each soul drop from the mechs and some hollowed bars, we can make the Drax, giving us Drax Attack. Killing your first mech boss will trigger life fruits to start growing in the jungle. You can use a total of 20 for 5 health points each. Using our first, we are rewarded Get a Life. Another one of our new hard mode ores is Chlorophyte. It spreads throughout mud tiles at a steady rate within the jungle. Mining it for the first time grants photosynthesis. The Aether is a mini biome, always located on the same side as the jungle. You can tell you are near the Aether due to the stars in the background. Within the Aether is the Shimmer, a liquid that has a variety of effects on different items and NPCs. It's also the only liquid that cannot be fished in. The Shimmer will be a lifesaver later on in our run. But for now, using it for the first time, we get Shimmer in the Dark. After defeating Skeletron, an old shaking chest will start to follow you. By using a golden key on it, you will find the Elder Slime, our third of the 8 we need for the Great Slime Mitosis. The Groom is a rare zombie that wears and drops the top hat. He only appears during a blood moon with about a 1 in 70 chance of spawning. Killing him grants us till death. If 5 or more tombstones are placed in close proximity, this will generate a graveyard mini biome. Entering for a quiet neighborhood. Tricking a gnome to run into sunlight rewards us with helophobia. In order to get some exclusive accessories, I created a master mode world. Whenever I spawned in, I dug straight down into a spider cavern for Jeepers Creepers. I then killed the Eye of Cthulhu for a great accessory, the Shield of Cthulhu. This shield will allow me to dash, making it very useful for upcoming fights. Buying the mini shark from the arms dealer gives us completely awesome. Back in the dungeon, we found Muramasa, another sword needed for Zenith. We also kill a dungeon spirit for ectoplasm, which grants us robbing the grave. Heading back to the jungle, we search for Plantera's bulb. Finding it and breaking it summons Plantera, another one of our main bosses. Killing Plantera grants us the Great Southern Plant Kill and the Temple Key. Using the Temple Key, we can unlock the Temple for Temple Raider. Within the Temple, we find Lizard Power Cell and Lizard Altar. Using the Power Cell on the altar summons the Golem. Killing the Golem rewards us with Lizardian Idol. The Golem's death spawns the Cultist in front of the dungeon, which can be used to summon our next boss. It also begins the spawning of Martian probes, which can trigger the Martian Madness event. While farming turtles for turtle shells, we find Dr. Bones, a zombie variant that can only spawn in the jungle, killing for archaeologists. By getting 100 mushroom grass above the surface, we can create a glowing mushroom field. Going into this field gives us Funky Town. By building a house in this biome, it allows the truffle to move in, where it can talk. Pinky has a 1 in 180 chance of spawning in the place of a standard slime. For killing Pinky, we receive Pretty Pink. Using 20 life fruit, 15 heart crystals, and 9 mana crystals, we max out our health and mana for topped off. Placing a mount in the mount slot grants the cavalry. The solar eclipse has a 5% chance to happen each dawn. Doing the solar eclipse after defeating all mech bosses causes Mothron to begin spawning. Killing Mothron has a 1 in 4 chance of dropping the Broken Hero Sword, another sword needed for the Zenith. After the solar eclipse, you get Kill the Sun. The Martian probe spawns at the highest layers of the world. If it scans you and gets away, it will begin the Martian Madness event. Completing the event grants us 10 foil hatter. Using the nurse to heal costs coins. Spending over 1 gold to heal rewards you the frequent flyer. A party has a 10% chance of happening. When it does happen, you will be granted Jolly Jamboree. Also during a party, the cool slime will move in, giving us another slime for the Great Slime Mitosis. Truffle worms are found in the mushroom biome and can be caught in a net. Fishing with one summons Duke Fishron, a super easy boss that I beat first try without using any unique strategies. Beating him grants us Fish Out of Water. Back at the dungeon, we now see the cultist. By killing them, we fight the lunatic cultist. A simple fight as long as you avoid his fakes. In order to tell the difference, you can look at the line on his hat. The fake ones will never have a line. Hitting a fake will summon the dragon, causing a lot of trouble and being the hardest part of the fight. Beating the lunatic cultist grants us obsessive devotion, and causes the 4 celestial pillars to spawn. The 4 celestial pillars represent the 4 damage types in Terraria: the Solar Melee, Vortex Ranged, Nebula Magic, and Stardust for Summon. Initially, the pillars have a large force field around them, preventing them from taking any damage. To remove the force field, you must defeat 100 enemies that correspond to that pillar. All of these enemies will spawn in the pillar's affected area, represented by a background change. With the 100 enemies defeated and the force field gone, you can now damage the pillar. When destroyed, the pillar will drop lunar fragments corresponding to the type of pillar. These fragments can be used to make some of the best items in the game. By breaking all 4 of the pillars, we can summon the Moon Lord, the final boss. After breaking 3 of the 4 pillars, I decided to farm the Martian Madness event. Destroying the UFOs in this event has a chance to drop the Cosmic Car Key, a mount that is a UFO which would allow us to stay in flight forever. I felt this would come in handy against the Moon Lord. But something I did not know at the time, the pillars are counted as an event, meaning no other event could be active. So I sat on this little island for almost 1 hour of my very valuable time. During this time, we hit around 26 hours played. I would use some of the time AFK to eat and get some other things done. After this, I finally go and destroy the final pillar, granting us Star Destroyer and summoning the Moon Lord, where I of course lose. I craft some better weapons with our lunar fragments and farm the Old One's army event. Upon completion, I am awarded Hero of Ethria. I also get medals, which I use to trade into the tavern keep for better armor. With 12 of each fragment, I am able to craft a celestial sigil, allowing me to summon the Moon Lord without having to destroy any pillars. And now being much more prepared, I am able to finish off the hardest boss in the game, for Champion of Terraria. This awards us with some nice credits that we have no time for, instantly summoning another Moon Lord and defeating him, this time dropping one of our swords needed for the Zenith. I then spend a full hour organizing all of my items, another mistake in this run. Our next goal is to get as strong as possible, so now we aim for the Zenith. Headed to the jungle, we farm Plantera. We finally get the Seedler, another one of our Zenith swords. While there, we also get 12 stingers, 15 jungle spores, and 3 vines. Using these, we are able to craft the Blade of Grass. There are 2 required swords needed from Moonlord. While farming Moonlord for those swords, he drops the Terrarian, granting us 6th throw. We take a little break of sword grinding and go for our first of many fishing quests, which grant us Servant in Training. By talking to the Dryad, we can buy pumpkin seeds, planting them and eventually growing pumpkins. Using 30 pumpkins, 5 ectoplasm, and 10 hollowed bars, we make the Pumpkin Moon Medallion. Using this at night begins the Pumpkin Moon event, reaching round 15, rewarding us with Baleful Harvest. During this event, we also get the Horseman's Blade, another sword needed for Zenith. The enchanted sword is normally found in a small cave generated right below surface level. After searching for a full hour, we finally find one. Using hollowed bars, we can craft Excalibur. Adding chlorophyte bars to Excalibur, we can craft True Excalibur. By combining Blood Butcherer, Muramasa, Blade of Grass, and Volcano, we get Knight's Edge. Using Knight's Edge, 20 Souls of Fright, Might, and Sight, we get True Knight's Edge. Using True Knight's Edge, True Excalibur, and Broken Hero Sword, we get the Terra Blade, granting us Sword of the Hero. Now, I could read off all the swords needed for Zenith, or I can just show you this chart that I found on Google. Finally crafting the Zenith, which most consider to be the most powerful sword in the game, we get Infinity +1 sword. I then spare a little time to test it out on the Moonlord. By fishing during the Blood Moon, we find Shirley Slime, another one of our slimes needed for the Great Slime Mitosis. By moving the Pirate and the Fisherman to the Ocean biome, this puts the Pirate at max happiness, which talking to him grants us Leading Landlord. The Contaminator is a tool used to spray solutions. These solutions can be used to change the biomes. By throwing it into the Shimmer, we can upgrade it to the Terraformer, helping us with our later achievement that was achieved by less than 2% of players. Reaching the very bottom of the world grants us Rock Bottom. A biome key is a unique key used to open its corresponding chest in the dungeon. They can drop from any enemy and drop the matching key to the biome they are killed in, with a 1 in 2,500 chance. Using that key to open the chest grants us Big Booty. By putting on a full set of bee armor and shooting the bee gun, we are granted Not the Bees. While searching through the spider's nest, we find the Stylist, another one of our NPCs needed for Real Estate Agent. Tim is one of the rarest spawns in the game, found in the lower levels of the world. Killing him grants us There Are Some That Call Him. Using 10 crystal shards, 2 unicorn horns, 10 pixie dust, souls of light, and sight, we can make the rainbow rod for Prismancer. Prismatic lacewings spawn in the hollow from 7:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. Killing one summons the Empress of Light. Upon death, we get Fae Flayer. Buying a quad racer drone from the sideboard and flying it into the sky grants us to infinity and beyond. By summoning all 3 mech bosses at once and killing them, we get Mecha Mayhem. By breaking 3 shadow orbs, we summon the Eater of Worlds, defeating it for worm fodder, and our final boss for the Slayer of Worlds achievement. Gelatin crystals are found in the underground hollow. Using one in the hollow summons Queen Slime. When killed, we get Just Desserts. By placing 101 torches in a small area, we can summon the Torch God, who will begin to shoot flames at us. Surviving this grants us an item, Torch God's Favor. Using it gets us Torch God. The Sparkle Slime Balloon is a drop from the Queen Slime. Throwing it into the Shimmer, we get the Diva Slime, another one of our Slime Mitosis slimes. Fishing in lava, we get Hot Reels. The Golfer can be found in the Underground Desert, another one of our required NPCs. With 20 silk, 5 ectoplasm, and 5 souls of fright, we can create the naughty present. Using it at night begins the Frost Moon event. If we reach round 15, we get Ice Scream. At the end of the Frost Moon, we get a message saying the spirit of Christmas spreads cheer. This gives all enemies a 1 in 13 chance to drop a present until the spirit of Christmas fades. Within the presents, there is a chance to get the Snow Globe. Using the Snow Globe, we can summon the Frost Legion, which upon completion, we get Do You Want to Slay a Snowman? The Hollow Key is found the same as all the other biome keys. Using it to open the hollow chest in the dungeon, we get the Rainbow Gun. The Blessed Apple is a mount item which drops from any enemy in the hollow with a 0.5% chance. Using the mount and shooting the Rainbow Gun grants us rainbows and unicorns. By opening a trap chest and dying, we get Dead Men Tell No Tales. Another super complicated item to make is the Terraspark Boots. By combining all of this stuff you see here, we get the Boots of the Hero. By doing our 10th fishing quest, we get Good Little Slave. By standing near an altar with Flink's Fur, Crimtane Ore, and a lens, we are able to craft the Deer Thing. Using this summons the Deer Clops, upon death rewarding us with an eye for an eye. By throwing purification powder onto a tortured soul in the underworld, we can create the Tax Collector, our final NPC needed. Now that we have all the NPCs, the princess will move in, granting us Real Estate Agent. By completing our 25th fishing quest, we get Trout Monkey. By fishing in the ocean during a blood moon, you can fish up Dread Nautilus. Killing it grants us Don't Dread on Me. Many enemies drop kites, and 3 you are able to buy. If we fly one on a windy day, we are rewarded a rather bustery day. With only 13 achievements left and 39 hours into the run, I decide to take a much needed nap. I set my timer for 2 hours and fall asleep instantly. This is the longest I have ever been awake, and I know this is the most caffeine I've ever drank. All of this is for my little Terraria goal that I knew I could do. We wake up 41 hours into the run and get back to work. We have 7 hours left to reach our goal. By dropping a copper helmet or a short sword on a slime, it becomes the Squire Slime, leaving only one more slime to complete the Great Slime Mitosis. We make a new small world and begin clearing all of the corruption with the Terraformer. Talking to the Dryad can check the percent of the world that is corrupted still. After talking to her, we discover we are at 1% corrupt. After searching forever, we finally find the problem is underground. In the underworld, some sand that was corrupted fell down. Cleansing that sand and talking to the Dryad grants us a good riddance. By wearing spooky armor got for the Pumpkin Moon enemies, using the Pygmy Staff from Plantera, using a summoning potion, equipping the Pygmy Necklace, Necromantic Scroll, and Papyrus Scarab, then using a bewitching table, we can summon 9 minions at once, giving us You and What Army. While in the jungle, we stumble across a golden frog and catch it with a bug net. Crafting near a cooking pot with any golden animal, we can craft Golden Delight, giving us Feast of Midas. Every one of these items shown is a rare drop from one of these mobs, and every single one of these items is required to craft the Ankh Shield. A few of them I had already gotten during the run just from luck, with many being duplicates of the same item. I did everything I could to increase my chance of getting these drops. I dug out arenas, made spawning areas, switched it to master mode, anything I could think of. I spent over an hour and a half trying to get these drops, and at the end of the day, it was all for nothing. It turns out, if you throw the corresponding item into the shimmer, you can get its opposite item back. Doing that, I got the last 2 items I needed for the shield. Combining all of the items and finally crafting the shield grants us accumulation complete. While I was headed to the shimmer to transform my items for the last achievement, I ran into a mystic frog. Throwing purification powder onto it transforms it into the mystic slime, our final slime granting us the Great Slime Mitosis. Equipping a die in every possible die slot gives us Die Hard. You can only catch 1 quest fish a day, and you can only turn in 1 a day. But by removing a quest fish from your inventory, it allows more to be caught. By doing this, I can catch a lot of them and turn them in on many different characters, improving our fish catching speed by an insane rate. Completing our 50th fishing quest rewards us with Fast and Fishious. By doing another giant crafting combo that you can see here, we can finally make the cell phone for Black Mirror. The Rainbow Slime is a hard mode slime that only spawns in the hollow when it is raining. My whole run I have not seen a single one. By making my whole world hollow, I increase my chances of finding one quite a bit. Sleeping till it rains, then running around where I don't even see one, but my summon finally does and kills it, which means I have now killed every type of slime, granting us Gelatin World Tour. The slime rain has a 12% chance to happen in a pre-hard mode world where the Slime King has not been killed. In a hard mode world where Slime King has not been killed, there is an 8% chance. We have spent another 2 hours at this point sleeping for the rainbow slime and now sleeping for the slime rain. Finally, we get it. In order to complete it, we must defeat 150 slimes and then the Slime King, where we are granted Sticky Situation. By turning in our 30th fishing quest with one character, we are given a golden fishing pole and glorious golden pole. By all this fishing, we are finally at our 200th quest, where when we turn it in, we finally get our last fishing achievement, Supreme Minion Helper. Secret World Seeds are Easter eggs that have been found within the game. Entering one of these seeds create a unique world with different roles than a normal Terraria world. Spawning into one, we get our final achievement, a Rare Realm. At the end of our run, our character has a time of 46 hours and 21 minutes, with our actual time being 49 hours, missing our goal by 1 hour. I am still very happy with the results and had a great time overall. There was very many things I could have done differently to improve my time, but I had a lot of fun and that's all that matters to me. Please like and subscribe as I plan on doing more videos like this in the future. Thank you and peace.